Hey everyone! Right now I want to show you how you can quickly create, deploy and test a simple interface. In this series of videos I will be demonstrating some of the possibilities by building several use cases in ConnectPlaza. In this video I will be demonstrating how to build a simple file-to-file integration as an introduction to ConnectPlaza. We will be touching on how to configure such a flow in Constructor, build a bundle, deployment of the bundle, and a test to make sure the interface works. We will also be touching on dynamic properties. First off, what do we need to achieve this? We will need to use the constructor to build the flow and bundle the interface, deploy to perform the deployment to the runtime agent, and a running runtime agent to actually execute the flow as needed. We will test our flow by placing a file into the input folder, which should be transferred to the output folder as configured. Okay, so let's get started. To start on the left side, I will add a new interface to my business connector. This interface will hold all the flows we need to perform this action. By clicking on the plus sign, I can add a new interface to my business connector. I will name this interface the Simple Interface and click on Save. I can also provide a description of the interface in the description box. For now, we'll leave the rest default. You can see that the blue box for the interface was added. By clicking on it, I can open the interface and see its contents. As you can see, there are several categories of things we can work with, but today we'll focus on flows and bundles. By clicking flows, we can see all flows configured for this interface. We will be adding a new flow by clicking the plus sign next to flows. Here we can enter a name for our flow. We will name our flow File-to-File Flow and click on Save. After hitting Save, Constructor will automatically open the empty flow for you. You will see the 3 empty component layers in the middle and the type library on the right that holds all the building blocks. We will work our way down, starting with Consumer and then the Producer. Our first flow will not contain any services. By clicking on the plus sign next to Consumer, the type library will open and we can see all the blocks that are related to the consumer. By choosing File Pickup and dragging it into our Consumer box, we can add it by simply dropping it into place. As you can see, the File Pickup was added to the consumer. Remember that every flow can have only one active or passive consumer in place to handle protocols. If you want to handle several protocols, you can add additional flows to handle these different consumers. Next, we will add our producer. Similarly to adding a consumer, this can be achieved by clicking on the plus sign next to producer and choose the file drop and dropping it into the producer box. Producers are, unlike consumers, optional. If you do not add a producer, ConnectPlaza will automatically add a discard or null producer for you, which means that any message reaching the producer will be discarded. The next order of business is to configure our 2 building blocks. We will start with the consumer. By double-clicking on the consumer, we can open its properties. As you can see, there are many options to be configured, but we will only focus on the most important one, which is the pickup directory. This property configures where the flow will read its file from, which must be a physical location on the machine where the runtime agent is running. We will add the folder temp/input to designate the local temp folder as a starting point for this consumer. At the bottom, we must hit Save so we do not lose our configuration. Next is the file drop. Similar to the file pickup, we configured this component by double-clicking on it. Here we will focus on one item, which is the output directory. But instead of directly setting this value, I want to show you how dynamic properties work. Dynamic properties can be set on virtually all properties by hitting the checkbox in front of it. This will turn this property into a dynamic one. This means that we will be able to provide Constructor with a default value for this property, but very importantly, we will be able to provide a configurational value when we deploy this interface to runtime. This will allow us to override our default settings whenever we want to deploy this interface And this is very useful as it allows us to provide environmentally specific values for different runtimes. After hitting the checkbox, we will be able to configure the dynamic property by setting its default value to temp/output. Next, we click Save. And our flow is now ready for testing. By clicking the plus sign next to bundles, we can create a new bundle. We will choose a snapshot version as we will only be testing this flow now. Now we move on to deploy, as our work in Constructor is done. By clicking the Deploy tab, we will switch here. The Deploy overview will show all interface bundles organized per business connector. Since we are working in a business connector, I can open this by clicking on it. Here we will see all bundles that are ready for deployment. By double-clicking the bundle that is visible under Ready to Install, it will bring up the version dialog. This dialog shows all available versions of this interface. As we only have one bundle and one version, it is easy to identify. Remember that each bundle has a unique version. By double-clicking on the bundle, we can open the parameters dialog. Here we will find any and all dynamically configured properties as mentioned earlier, as you can see here. Deploy will request you to check and, if needed, override one dynamic property, which is the output directory. For now, we will leave this as is and click on the Install button below. After a few seconds, the bundle is installed and running. Please test your flow by placing a random file into temp/input folder of your Runtime Agent and watch it disappear and reappear in the temp output folder. I hope you will find these tutorials videos useful, and be sure to like and subscribe to our channel to be notified as we add more and more tutorial videos for ConnectPlaza. Thanks for watching.